Hey guys, we're back with a big one here. These are the 100-hour brownies by Alvin Zhao. This is a recipe that I've been wanting to try for a while now, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is brown some butter. There's a lot of butter in this recipe, and if you've never made brown butter before, the trick is to let it come to room temperature and slice it up so that it toasts evenly. The next thing I'm going to do is add some espresso powder. There's actually a lot of coffee in this recipe, this is only part of it, and this is going to add some rich flavor and enhance the flavor of the chocolate. I'm also adding a coffee ice cube. This is going to cool it down and also add more flavor. Next thing I'm going to do is add sugar to my eggs, and I'm going to add some vanilla extract. Now, the recipe calls for vanilla paste. I didn't have vanilla paste, and I actually couldn't find it, so I'm going to use the vanilla extract. I don't know if that's going to affect the taste of it at all, but anyway, that's what I used. So I'm just going to beat this until my eggs are nice and whipped, and as you can see, they're very pale here. And this took a little bit less than 5 minutes to do. Next, I'm sifting in my cocoa powder. This is Dutch processed cocoa powder, and more espresso powder. I also added sea salt, and there's a lot of salt in this recipe. I was really worried about the finished product, but don't worry, spoilers, it comes out just fine. So now I'm adding my butter mixture in there, and I'm just going to mix that up until my batter is nice and smooth. Next, I'm adding some melted dark chocolate here. You want to use 75% cocoa. You want to use good quality chocolate. Luckily, I was able to find 75% cocoa chocolate chips in my store, so that made things a lot easier for me. And next, we're going to sift in our all-purpose flour, and we're just going to go ahead and fold that in there. Now, at this point, this batter smells amazing. I can't believe I have to wait 4 days before eating this, but I heard that if you bake this immediately, it's going to taste very bitter, so you do want to wait. Anyway, I'm adding some chopped milk chocolate and some more dark chocolate chips, and I'm just going to fold that into the batter before I add it to a 13 by 9 inch baking pan that's been greased and lined with parchment. And once you have that all smoothed out on top, it's time to add the rest of your chocolate. And you're probably thinking, oh, it's time to bake these. This wasn't that bad. Nope, I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and this is going to go in the fridge for 3 days. And the reason why this is so that the flavors get to know each other a little bit more, and the batter will basically mature over time. Now, I started making those brownies on Tuesday. Today is Friday, and this is how the batter looks. And this is going to go in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And I was actually kind of worried that it wasn't going to be long enough, but these actually came out perfect. But here's the thing. We're going to cover this with tin foil while it's still hot, and this is going to go in the freezer for 30 minutes. And this is going to keep all the moisture within the brownies. And as you can see, I had to part my freezer like the Red Sea in order to make room for this. And then after 30 minutes, this is going to go back in the fridge for another 24 hours. Now, finally, it's Saturday, and these are done. Now, let me tell you something. These brownies had some weight to them. These were heavy, heavy brownies, but taking them out of the pan was no problem, and slicing them up was no problem either. These were surprisingly very smooth right out of the fridge, almost like fudge, and they're very, very thick. Look at these. Look on the inside. They look good, don't they? Now I'm going to do exactly what Alvin did. He heated his up a little bit. I'm popping mine in the microwave for a few seconds, and this is it. Time to try these out. As you can tell, these are very dense and very chocolatey looking. Question is, was it worth the wait? Let's listen in.
Holy crap.
Oh yeah, definitely worth the wait. They were amazing. Now you're probably thinking, John, why am I watching your video when I could be watching Alvin's? Well, I'm very happy that you asked me that, because doing this recipe actually inspired me to jazz up my recipe a little bit. So, that's coming up next. Alright, the first thing I'm doing is melting some unsalted butter in a small saucepan. And I'm not going to brown this, I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I'm adding my Dutch processed cocoa powder and some espresso powder, and I'm just going to mix that up. And this already smells fantastic, especially since that the hot butter is blooming the chocolate. I'm going to add some pure vanilla extract, and in a medium-sized bowl, I'm taking some granulated sugar and some light brown sugar, adding a little bit of sea salt, and pouring in my buttery chocolate. And I'm just going to give that a mix. And this is going to be a little bit rough at first, but don't worry, because I'm about to add some melted dark chocolate. Now, you could either use a double boiler or melt this in 15-second intervals in the microwave like I did. You know, less dishes to clean. And I'm just going to mix that up, and it's getting a little better, but now I'm going to add my 2 eggs. And now your batter will finally start coming together. Just go ahead and give that a good mix, and in the end you're going to have a nice smooth chocolate, almost like a ganache consistency. Beautiful. Then it's time to add your all-purpose flour. Now go ahead and fold that in gently and make sure that flour doesn't get all over your kitchen. And as I was making this, I was being careful with the amount of flour that I was using. This batter seemed a little too loose to me, so I added another third of a cup of flour and folded that in, and the consistency of this came out much better. Now once your batter appears to have no lumps of flour in it, it's time to add your dark chocolate chips. Now just to let you know, I did not use 75% cocoa for this. I just used plain dark chocolate chips that I found in the store. I looked it up. They contain 45% cocoa. You can use any type of chocolate you want, but that's what I used because I like the taste. And this is going to go in an 8x8 inch baking pan that's been greased and lined with parchment. And I'm just going to smooth out the top of my batter. And now I'm going to add the rest of my chocolate. And then on top of that, I'm going to add some sea salt. And yes, I'm adding this before I'm baking it. And don't worry, you'll still taste it. And then we're going to cover this with plastic wrap, and it's going to go in the fridge for 24 hours. After 24 hours, take the plastic wrap off. And this is going to go in a 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And after that, go ahead and let that sit for 10 minutes so it can cool off a little bit. And then we're going to cover it with tin foil, and this is immediately going to go into the fridge for another 24 hours. So that makes this 48-hour brownies. And after 48 hours, it should look like this. I sliced these up, and just like the other brownies, they were nice and smooth to cut into, even right out of the fridge. These were very thick and fudgy, and I was very, very happy with the way they looked. Now it's time to taste them. So, just like the other brownies, I popped this in the microwave for a few seconds. Now it's time for the moment of truth. And I would have recorded what I said, but this is a family show, so I kept it silent. But, just to let you know, these were amazing. Now, question is, which one's better, these or the 100-hour brownies? I can't really say because they were both very, very good. And they do taste different. They're both very chocolatey, they are both very dense, but there is a difference between them, and you can tell. But I recommend both recipes. These are a little bit more mild in flavor, so if you're looking for something that's not super intense, then I say make these. But if you love, 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 love chocolate, definitely do the 100-hour brownies. But guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is going to be my last video for a little bit because work right now is pretty insane because this is the busiest time of the year for us. So I'm going to be taking a couple of months off. It's very hard to make these videos and work a full-time job at the same time. But I'll be back in August and I will have new videos for you. So look forward to that. But have a great summer. Thank you for all the love and support. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, keep cooking, and I will see you all next time.